And then a couple pieces here by Cassatt, Mary Cassatt, versus the boating party on the left, and then women bathing on the right. I've talked about her before, but almost every single one of Cassatt's pieces surround the mother and child relationship. She always wanted to have children but was unable to, so she kind of lived out her hopes and dreams of having children on her canvases, right? Her realism lies in its honest depiction of the humble daily ritual and normal everyday things that women would do with their children, right? But you can also see an influence of Japanese prints in the certain areas that the perspective isn't 100% right. There's areas that are really flattened for no particular reason, that kind of stuff. She went and saw a Japanese print exhibition in Paris, and it really, really affected her and her art for the rest of her life. So moving into the 20th century, the avant-garde. It's a French term originally referring to the detachment of soldiers that went first into battle. For young artists, it referred to the battle to advance the progress of art against the resistance of conservative forces, which is kind of interesting compared to what it really is kind of used as today. Avant-garde is kind of like over the top, very dramatic, right? But that's not what the original meaning is. So in 1903, a group of young artists, later called Faux, founded the Salon des Automnés as a progressive alternative to the original salon, right? Faux meaning the wild beasts, and Matisse was a leader in the movement. Fauvism is the freeing of color, using it as an independent, expressive element. Some people pronounce it as Fauvism, but I like to say Fauvism. So the artist who emerged as the leader of the wild new trend was, like I said, Matisse. Not long after his art alarmed the critics, he finished this piece called The Joy of Life. Broad areas of color floating free, the painting radiates a sense of harmony and well-being, but most definitely does not represent true life, right? People are not green. The forest is not made of all of these colors, but that's part of the freeingness of it, right? It's so unique and so out of the box, right? It's on page 498 if you want to look at it closer. And there he is. He just seems like a happy, nice guy. I've always liked Matisse. So moving on to Expressionism, described any style where the artist's subjective feelings take precedence over objective observation, right? It's more about feeling, not necessarily what you see. It specifically refers to an art movement that developed in Germany in the early 20th century. In Die Brücke, the bridge was founded in Dresden in 1905. Artists wanted to build a bridge through their art to a better, more enlightened future. And one of the founders was Kirchner, and then Der Blaue Reiter, organized in 1911 by the Russian painter Kandinsky. He believed the spirituality and art were linked. He actually wrote a book called The Spiritual in Art. It's very short, very deep. It took me reading it about 4 times to start to understand what exactly he was talking about. But he was actually a lawyer instructor, and he saw an art exhibit, and it moved him so much that he actually quit teaching law and started painting, and obviously that worked out pretty well for him, but that was a big risk. So this is a piece by Erich Heckel. It's called Franzi Reclining from 1910. So this is on page 499 in your book. Intense arbitrary colors show Expressionism's link with Fauvism, and the wavering contours suggest the influence of Munch, right? The Scream. So the colored woodcut depicts a typical reclining nude, like Titian's Venus of Urbino, but there's something upsetting about it, right? The drawing style is harsh and angular, but it's not realistic looking, so it's kind of approachable, but also very uneasy to look at. It's just very unique, to say the least. So Kandinsky, black line number 189. Like I was saying, he was a law teacher in Moscow, and he saw an Impressionist exhibit, and it moved him so much that he quit, right? He believed that art's spiritual and communicative power lay in its own language of line, form, and color. And that piece is on page 500 in your book. Although she did not belong to either group of German expressionists, the painter Paula Modersohn-Becker has been associated with the movement thanks to her subjective use of color and form. Her kneeling mother with child at her breast portrays woman in her aspect of life giver and nurturer. Which goes back all the way to the Venus of Willendorf, right? The woman's naked body is naturally proportioned, yet its color does not respond to nature. The face is instead a gray mask, likely inspired by African or oceanic art. And her body is also a mixture of pinks and grays that appear unnatural compared to the child's lifelike fleshiness, right? While the bodies are modeled and foreshortened as if having real three-dimensional volume, they occupy a flattened and unreal space. This is done in order for us to see the child as real and alive, but the mother is a kind of monument sculpted to support the child that she holds. Also on page 500.